American Civil War in fact was a war against Tartarian stronghold survivors of the 600 meters height tsunami of the 1800. The invaders of the Americas Tartaria came from the north, and at the time of the invasion, the territory of Canada, United States and Mexico were known as India Superior and were populated by the same people that was wiped out across the ocean during the Russian Revolution and German Revolution of 1918 to 1919. The character known as Trotsky, played by Kermit Roosevelt, was apparently in Canada shortly before ordering the bloodbath that slaughtered 100 million Russians. Parasites then divided the imperial territory as Canadian, American and Mexican lands, seized the world power and rewrote the history of Americas. The invaders' parasites came from the north, after eliminating the defense of the Star Fortress through energy weapons, tsunamis, and earthquakes. These events created 30,000 islands in the lands known today as the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador. St. John, the capital of Newfoundland, was burned. Halifax, the capital of the province of Nova Scotia, was exploded. The objective was to get rid of its inhabitants so that the parasites could take possession of all lands. In St. John, the fire started with something unlikely like a drop pipe in Timothy O'Brien's stable, and a series of catastrophic coincidences caused the fire to spread and devour virtually all of the city, including its major commercial area. In Halifax, a major explosion erased the city, killing all people. After take possession of Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, the parasites' agents reached New Amsterdam, Washington and the Great Lakes of North America, settling in Milwaukee, Chicago and Detroit. From there, they organized the massacre of tens of millions of buffaloes, cows and wild horses and transformed the assembly lines of the electric car factories into oil cars. It was necessary swept away all the fertile lands from its original inhabitants. It was then that the massacre of men and animals began. Parasites ordered to native Indians to leave their lands and march without water or food for days. The aim was to exterminate them, without spending any ammunition. Others were killed on their own land through blankets impregnated with smallpox. Perhaps many of them went to feed Chicago's meat industries, mixed with those of their herds. According to the essay in Tartaria Info, approximately 50,000 people worked in the slaughterhouses and about 1,200 animals were slaughtered per hour. By this time, all factories, industries, and properties had already changed hands and slowly would be brought together into future corporations. Sugar, beer, cotton, alcohol, corn, weapons, banks, paper money, oil companies, casinos, financial services, vehicles, railways, corporate facilities, health system, airplanes, grocery stores, education and research, cement, copper, steel, tourism, information technology, energy, gold, diamonds, bomber planes. In the South, where there had never been segregation, slaves or black subordination before, the carnage was equally total. What the official history reports as a reconciliation between the North and the South after the Civil War never existed. The massacre was necessary so that the parasites could take over all the lands and retell the history, concealing the destruction and remitting it to a remote past. Later these lands would be repopulated with dopey cowboys, thieves and small drug dealers. Legends like Mark Twain then would emerge, signing novels that would describe a racism through the eyes of Tom Sawyer and beautiful balloon rides and the adventures of Huckleberry Finn. To recreate the history of the United States, it was necessary to fill it with many fake characters. All founding fathers, abolitionists, and senior military leaders of the Union and Confederacy armies during the fictional Civil War never existed. Robert E. Lee, P.G.T. Beauregard, James Longstreet, Benjamin Hugger, Philip Henry Sheridan, Abraham Lincoln, John Brown, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, George Washington. The list is extensive. The Union Army would lend its name to the corporation that would swallow all American rail